on record. State and Public Defender's Office appearances, please.
Vaughn Marie Baez-Black on behalf of the state.
Megan Albrecht on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
All right, as I said, in case number 19 CF 6818, this is a case that we addressed. Defendant is Wiggins. Public Defender's Office was appointed yesterday. The court is aware that the co-defendant's name on the affidavit needs to be redacted because of his age, so that should not be public record. But I know he was seen in, at the Juvenile Justice Center. All right, let me go ahead and do Spanish interpreter cases. Robin, can I have the Spanish interpreter face sheets, please? I'm starting off with Sanchez, and then going to Aviles. Thank you, ma'am. We're just waiting for the interpreter.
Your Honor, the interpreter is on the line, and I just confirmed that the defendant can hear me now.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, raise your right hand, Madam Interpreter. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the translation you'll give from English to Spanish and Spanish to English will be to the best of your abilities, so help you God?
I do, to the best of my ability. Flavia Rodriguez, State Certified Court Interpreter.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Sir, please tell me your name.
Ramon Sanchez.
Mr. Sanchez, do you want a public defender to help you with your case? That's a lawyer.
Yes.
All right, I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Counsel for defense, does Mr. Carroll and Ms. Ficani work with your office?
Yes.
Okay, so he already has a public defender in the two cases where he's out on bond. In case number 19 CF 6858, I find probable cause for the charges of possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'll stay those bonds. His total bond is $1,100 in that case. Let me review his out on bond cases. Because of the nature of the offenses, I'm revoking his release in 19 CF 4624 and 19 CT 2613AO. He'll be held at no bond status on the felonies. And on the no valid driver's license, I'll revoke his release, but I will give him a new bond of $500. Mr. Sanchez, the Public Defender's Office will help you with your case. Good luck to you. Sir, please tell me your name.
Ramon Aviles.
Mr. Aviles, you're here for case number 18 CF 2345. This is a warrant out of St. Lucie County. Corrections did confirm the warrant. Sir, you're being held at no bond status. You will be transported to St. Lucie County for your violation of community control. Good luck to you, sir. Councils, any any PC challenges that I needed to be aware of beforehand?
No.
Okay, thank you. Madam Interpreter, I believe that's everything. Have a good weekend and happy Mother's Day.
I'm back in for Osceola.
I apologize, Your Honor. We are not connecting to Osceola.
We're not ready for Osceola yet.
So I'll stay on the line, and when we are, I'll cover the Spanish cases.
Okay, it's going to be a little bit. Do you want us to just call you back, or how does that work?
I can stay on the line because I'm in the office right now.
Okay.
So I don't mind staying on the line.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I need to press anything?
No, we're fine.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's go ahead and go to Mr. Jackson. Are you Mr. Jackson? All right, in case number 19 CF 6835, the court does find probable cause. I'll stay the bond reset till tomorrow, but because of his mental health status, I'll temporarily appoint the Public Defender's Office on Jackson.
And Mr. Johnson is mental health as well, Your Honor.
Jeremy Johnson, in case number 19 CF 6861AO. He's here for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. as well as aggravated assault with a firearm and reckless display of firearm. He's at no bond status. Because of his medical condition, I'll temporarily appoint the public defender, but I do find probable cause for all of these charges reset to tomorrow. Are we ready on Mr. Gilbert? Sir, tell me your name, please.
Ma'am,
What's your full name?
James Desmain Gilbert.
All right, thank you. Give me a moment, sir. Mr. Gilbert, you're here in case number 19 CF 6847 for charges of burglary of an occupied dwelling, petty theft of $100 or more, as well as criminal mischief. You do qualify for the services of the public defender. I'm going to appoint them to help you with your case. At this time, I find probable cause. I'll stay the bonds. Your total bond is,
The bond is so high, ma'am. I cannot. And plus, this is mistaken identity. So
okay, you may not want to say anything else. All of your statements are being recorded and can be used against you. It is a burglary of an occupied dwelling. I do find probable cause, but because it was the carport, I'll modify that bond to $4,000 on counts 2 and 3. I will do subsidiary bonds. So your total bond is now $4,200. No return to the scene of the crime, and no contact with the victim. Good luck to you, sir.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Sir,
Count 3 and 3 are that are right?
yes, subsidiaries. Give me a moment on this one. What? I thought I signed them too, but when there's 2 pages, I get. All right.
Probably only the ones that were paperclip.
Oh, what are we doing? Hold on a second. What do they do? All right, are you Mr. Kimball?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Kimball. You're here in case number 19 CF 6860, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting officer without violence, possession of a grocery cart or dairy case, and soliciting without permit. I'm going to appoint a public defender to help you with all of these counts. I do find probable cause. I'm going to stay all of those bonds. And then in case number 19 MO 693 and 674, you already have a public defender and you're released on your own recognizance on that. Counsel for defense, do you want me to revoke his bond and set a low bond so he can start getting some gain time on that? Some credit time served, rather?
May I confirm?
Sure.
Your Honor, he's homeless, doesn't have any money, so I think in an abundance of caution, let's go ahead and set bond so we do credit.
I'll revoke his release in 19 MO 674 and 9673. I'll set bond at $100 per case. All right, good luck to you, sir. Sir, what's your name?
Michael Black, ma'am. Michael Black, ma'am.
Michael Black, you said? Give me a
Yes,
moment.
ma'am.
Mr. Black, you're already out on bond. Does Mr. Spencer work for the Public Defender's Office?
Yes, Your Honor, and it appears that that case is in competency proceedings.
Okay,
He may have been on conditional release. I couldn't quite
let me
go
take
through
a
the
peek
whole
at that.
file.
Has there been a finding as to his competency, or is it still pending?
It appears so. It appears he may have been on conditional release.
Yeah. All right, the court is going to make a finding that in 17 CF 1555 AO, the defendant has violated his conditional release. I'll revoke his release, put him on mental health pretrial release if he qualifies, and he can set any hearings in front of Judge Young. And then in case number 19 MM 4016 AO, I'll also put him on mental health pretrial release if he qualifies. If not, I'll modify all the bonds to $100, but I do find probable cause for the offenses.
And Your Honor, the case he's out on bond, did you want to set bonds for that? Because I have a feeling he might not qualify for the back.
I know, I'll set bonds at $100 apiece, but that needs to be modified in front of Judge Young because there is a violation of conditional release. He has, I think, 2 counts? Let me check that.
And you said 100 each count, or mental pretrial release on the Allen Brown?
Yeah. He just needs to be seen in front of Judge Young. Oh, I'll do mental health pretrial release if qualifies, as I said. And let me find the information on that. Information filed on 3/8/2017. It was 2 counts, battery on a LEO and resisting officer without violence. All right. You'll go back and see Judge Young, just in case they don't qualify you for mental health pretrial release, sir. Good luck to you.
Your Honor, is the public defender appointed on the new case?
Yes, I'll appoint the public defender on the MM case. What did they do here? Sir, what's your name?
Jonathan Bloomquist.
Mr. Bloomquist, good morning. You're here for a charge. I'm going to appoint a public defender to help you with your cases. You're here for charges of resisting officer without violence, petty theft, and criminal mischief. Sir, I do find probable cause for all of these offenses. If you would like to resolve your case, you have credit for 1 day time served. I would adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 7 days in the county jail. So you'd be released in about a week. I'll give you a chance to talk to your public defender about resisting officer without violence, petty theft, and criminal mischief where there is probable cause. 7-day offer. I'm sorry, I thought I signed these.
I think it's the ones that were paper cut.
Okay.
This case should be after the last case that you had.
Thank you. Ready? All right, Mr. Bloomquist, are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your thinking or understanding this morning? Could you hear me okay?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, medicine, or do you have any health conditions that's affecting your understanding today?
Yeah, I drink alcohol a lot, so
Okay, is it still in your system, and do you well, first, let me ask the question this way. Do you understand everything that's going on now?
yes.
Have you had enough time to talk to your attorney? What?
No.
You need more time to talk to her? Okay, I'm going to put him at the end of the docket. I'll keep the 7-day offer open.
I just like to get it resolved. And
I'm just going to give you time to talk to your attorney at the end of the morning. Raise, this one's incompetent. Thank you. Sir, what's your name? Sir, what's your name?
Username Akai KY.
All right, sir, you're out on release in case number 19MM1585AO for assault on a law enforcement officer and resisting officer without violence, and then you're here on a new charge, 19MO911AO. I'm going to appoint a public defender in your new case based on your mental health status and previously being found incompetent. I'll take no action on the out on bond, and I'll put him on ROR for the charge of disorderly conduct. The Public Defender's Office will help you, Mr. Vu. Good luck to you. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Thomas J. Cheek.
Mr. Cheek, you're here for a charge of trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance. Sir, you do qualify for the services of the public defender. I'll appoint them to help you with your case. I find probable cause. If you would like to resolve this case, the offer is an adjudication, 3 days. You'd be released tomorrow, Mr. Cheek. I'll give you a chance to speak with your attorney, and I do find PC.
You'd like to accept that offer, Judge?
All right, thanks. I'll give him a moment to read the paper and sign it. Mr. Cheek, did you read that paper while you were in back?
Yes, Your Honor.
For the record, I saw you sign it in open court. How do you plead to the charge of trespass? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty, sir?
No,
Excuse me, what did you say?
guilty.
All right, did anybody force, threaten, or coerce you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Sir, do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed these offenses, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you also understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by pleading to this charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand the rights you're giving up by entering a plea today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll go ahead and accept your plea of guilty to the charge of trespass. You're hereby adjudicated guilty, sentenced to 3 days in the county jail with credit for 1 day time served. I'll give you until June 1st of 2020 to pay your court costs and your public defender fees. That's over a year, and you have 30 days to appeal. Sir, you do need to abide by all trespass orders. Do you have any questions before I end your case?
No, Your
All
Honor.
right. Good luck to you, Mr. Cheek. Ready on this step?
1 second.
Okay.
This is starting with felonies?
Yes.
Do I need to sign this from yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. What?
Felonies first.
We'll do felonies first. All right, sir, your name, please?
Brendan Fraley.
What is it?
Brendan Fraley. John Doe.
Got it. Case number 19CF6867. Sir, you're here for charges of resisting officer with violence, open container of alcohol, and resisting officer without violence. Sir, at this time, I'm going to appoint the services of the public defender to help you with your case. I do find that there's probable cause for these offenses. I'm going to stay all the bonds. Your total bond is $1,200. Sir, what's your name?
Jason Furman.
Mr. Furman, do you already have a lawyer helping you with your possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams case?
No, I don't believe so.
I'll check you. (2019 CF).
TD previously appointed.
Okay, so the Public Defender's Office was previously appointed to help you with the case. They'll stay on the case. Sir, while you were out on pretrial release, it's alleged that you committed a new act of resisting officer without violence and loitering and prowling in Castleberry. Judge Harris is holding you at no bond status. I'll stay those conditions. Good luck to you, Mr. Furman. Sir, what's your name?
Matthew Ryan Graham.
Good morning, Mr. Graham. You're here in case number 19CF6850. You qualify for the services of the public defender. They'll assist you with your case. Sir, you're here for a charge of destruction of evidence as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. I find probable cause, I'll stay the bond on count 1. On count 2, I'm going to reduce that bond to $100. Your total bond is $1,100. You're not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs. Do you have any questions, Mr. Graham?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Travaris Jenkins.
Oh, no. Mr. Jenkins, do you want a public defender to help you with your case from February as well as the case you were arrested for yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender in both cases. 19 CF 6832, you're here for a principal for shooting in an occupied dwelling. Sir, I do find probable cause for that offense. I'm going to, because you're already out on bond, I'm increasing that bond to $7,500. You're to have no contact with any of the victims or witnesses. You're not to return to the scene of the crime, and you're not to possess any weapons or ammunition. And then in case number 19 CF 1596AO, I do find that an information has already been filed charging you with 2 counts of delivery of cannabis for consideration of more than 20 grams and driving with license suspended. In that matter, I'm revoking your release and holding you at no bond status. One of the conditions is that you not commit any new law violations. Any modifications can be heard in front of Judge Beamer. Good luck to you, sir. Sir, what's your name?
Timothy Jordan.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Timothy Jordan.
Mr. Jordan, you're here in case number 19 CF 6854 and 19 CF 6855. I'll appoint a public defender to help you with each of these cases. On the first case, I find probable cause for the May 11th shoplifting. That bond will be stayed at $1,000, no return. And then in case number 19 CF 6855, I find probable cause for the May 9th shoplifting. I find probable cause and no return, I'll stay that bond. Your total bond in these 2 cases is $2,000, sir. The public defender's office will help you. Bond correction. Sir, what's your name?
Desmond Joshua.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Desmond Joshua.
Mr. Joshua, you're here in case number 19 CF 6833. You're here for a felony charge of resisting officer with violence as well as a trespass on property after warning. I'll appoint a public defender, and I do find probable cause. The correct bond on a resisting officer without violence is a $1,000 bond, so I'll modify that. On count 2, the trespass, I'll treat it as a subsidiary and set that bond at $100. Your total bond is $1,100, sir. You're not to return to the scene of the crime. Do you have any questions, sir?
What do I do? My girlfriend lives there. And I live with her, so.
Sir, it sounds like there's a actual trespass order. If you're not on the lease, you may have some, if you are or are not on the lease, there may be some civil remedy on one side or the other, but there has been a trespass order, so no return or abide by all trespass orders.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Joshua. Sir, what's your name?
John King.
Mr. King, you're here for 2 different cases. I'm going to appoint the public defender to help you with both of them. You have an active capias in case number 18 CT 9185. You missed your court date, so your bond in that matter is $5,000. And then in case number 19 CT 6843, I'll stay the bond at $1,000 or pretrial release if you qualify, with drug testing to begin anytime after June 11th. Report within 1 business day if he opts for pretrial release. Okay, so the public defender's office will assist. Yes?
Your Honor, just a correction. The correct case number is 19 CF 6843. Your Honor stated CT.
He has a capias in the CT case with the $5,000 bond. So I addressed 2 different cases, counsel.
No, yes, Your Honor, but on this one, on the possession of methamphetamine.
Okay,
Your
I'll go
Honor
ahead and
stated
correct the
19
record.
CT.
19 CF 6843 is the felony, and CT 189185 is AO is the traffic case. Good luck to you, sir. Sir, what's your name?
Jean Carlos Lopez Montalvo.
Give me a moment. All right, in case number 19, CF 6865. Sir, I'll appoint a public defender to help you with your case. I find probable cause. Hold on just a moment. I find probable cause for the offenses of burglary of a conveyance with an assault or battery therein, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and criminal mischief. You are entitled to bonds as to counts 2 and 3. I do find proof evident presumption great as to count 1. What says the state as far as bond on count 1?
Your Honor, the state will defer to the court.
All right, defense counsel, anything else I need to consider? All right, I'll hold him at no bond status on count 1. On count 2, I'll set bond at $2,500. On count 3, treat it as a subsidiary and set bond at $100. Sir, you're to have no contact with the victim or any witnesses, no return to the scene of the crime, and you're not permitted to possess any weapons. If you own any weapons or ammunition, they do need to be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release from jail. I know I went over a lot of information. Do you have any questions for me or your lawyer?
Not really. No.
Good luck to you, Mr. Lopez Montero.
Thank you.
All right, sir, your name, please?
Kenneth Nicholas.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Kenneth Nicholas.
Mr. Nicholas, I'm appointing a public defender in your new case. That's case number 19 CF 6868. You were arrested for a charge of possession of MDMA ecstasy, resisting officer without violence, being in a park after hours, and open container. I do find probable cause. I'm going to modify the bond on count 1. Actually, it was based on the weight, I'm going to stay the bond at $15,000. And then you're also already out on court-ordered pretrial release in 19 CF 6325. One of the conditions of being out on pretrial release is that you commit no new law violations. So you'll now be held at no bond status. Your attorney can take you to see Judge White on your violations. Sir, what's your name?
James Novak.
Is he on probation?
Yes.
You don't need to say any, I was asking them. I'll appoint, sir, do you need a public defender to help you with your case? All right, I'm gonna ask you some questions to see if you qualify. There is a $50 application fee. Sir, oh, even better. Thanks, officer. Denise, does he qualify?
He qualifies.
Okay. I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender to help you with your case. Sir, just a reminder, all of your statements are being recorded and can be used against you. In case number 19 CF 6852, you're here for a charge of driving with license suspended as a habitual traffic offender, and I do find probable cause for that case. And then you're also here in case number 19 CF 6851 for possession of cocaine. I also find probable cause for that too. I'll stay the bond on the driving with license suspended at $2,500. I'll treat the cocaine as a subsidiary and modify that bond to $150, so your bond is $2,650. Sir, I do want to advise you that there is a 5-day hold on you because of your probationary status, so you may be transported to Seminole County if you do bond out. Wait for, thank you, sir.
I believe he has a affidavit for the,
What is it?
I had an order for the Seminole County case. Showed that he has 3 cases.
Want me to slow down? Or take a break? Okay.
Maybe it's still,
Is that the co-defendant? Is that this one?
yes.
Okay. And for the record, the Seminole County case number was 18-01869. Thank you, Denise. Here's, sir, what's your name?
Chavin Stanley.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Chavin Stanley.
Defense counsel, I will consider pretrial release. He does qualify, but he will be drug tested. Does he prefer that or monetary bond? I'll give you a moment and I'll appoint, I'll appoint the public defender in case numbers 19 CF 6845 and 19 CT 3596AO.
We'd like to do pretrial release.
All right. In both of these cases, I find probable cause for the offenses of possession of methamphetamine, possession of cocaine, possession of cannabis, possession of drug paraphernalia, and the driving with license suspended. In all of these cases, I'm going to put you on the pretrial release program. Sir, as of today, you're not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or have any drug paraphernalia. You need to report to pretrial release, and you will be drug tested anytime after June 11, so enough time to clear your system. If you violate, you could be held at no bond status, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you, sir.
You said June 2nd,
June 11th.
June 11th, okay.
Sir, what's your name?
Alan Stedman.
Mr. Stedman, you qualify for the public defender. I'll appoint them to help you with your case. I find probable cause for the charges of possession of cocaine. Do you want a public defender to also help you with your out on bond cases, Mr. Stedman?
That would be okay, ma'am.
All right, I'll appoint a public defender in case number 19 CF 6609AO and 19 MO 886AO. Sir, when you're already out on bond, you're not to commit any new law violations. I'm revoking your bond in the felony case and holding you at no bond status. And then in the misdemeanor case, I'll revoke your release and set bond at $100. Good luck to you, sir. I'm missing her paperwork. What's your name, ma'am?
Ashley DeLauder.
Okay, found it.
Armani Brown bonded, Your Honor.
Give me a second. Amani Brown bonded?
Yes.
What happened with, Wander Main Herrera Martinez?
I don't have that. What's the deal number?
It's 19014419.
Bonded, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, ma'am, sorry for the wait. You're here in case number 19MM4013AO. You qualify for the services of the public defender. I'm going to appoint them to help you with your case. I do find that there's probable cause for charges of possession of drug paraphernalia and trespass. Does your client want an offer in this case? All right, it's a 5-day offer, no return. Abide by all trespass orders. Ms. Stillwater, are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, medication, or do you have any health conditions that's affecting your understanding?
No.
And have you had enough time to talk to your attorney about your case?
Yes.
Did you read this paper before you signed it?
Yes.
For the record, you did sign it in open court. How do you plead to the charge of possession of drug paraphernalia? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Guilty.
Okay. And how do you plead to the charge of trespass?
Guilty.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to plead guilty, ma'am?
No.
Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed these offenses, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, I understand.
And if you have and if you're not a United States citizen, you'll be subject to deportation by pleading to this charge. Do you understand that too, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, at this time, I'll accept your plea of guilty in case number 19MM4013AO. You're hereby adjudicated guilty of both counts. I'm sentencing you to 5 days to run concurrent on counts 1 and 2. You have credit for 1 day time served. I'll give you until June 1st of 2020 to pay your court costs and your public defender's fees, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence in writing. If you can't afford counsel, one would be appointed to represent you. Do you have any questions before I end your case, ma'am?
No.
Ms. Delwater, good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, what's your name?
John Pierre Luis Hernandez Medina.
All right, sir, I'm going to appoint a public defender in your charge of petty theft. That's Orange County case number 19MM4008AO. I do find probable cause for that offense. I'm ordering no return to target, and I'm going to stay that bond at $250. Sir, you're also already out on your release on your own recognizance in case number 17MM3124 for a violation of probation on the underlying offense related to domestic violence or violation of an injunction. In that case, I'm revoking your release and holding you at no bond status, Mr. Hernandez. Do you want a public defender for your Osceola case too?
Yes.
Okay, I'll appoint a public defender as well. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Brian Simpson.
Mr. Simpson, you're here on a charge for trespass on property after warning, and I do find there's probable cause for that. I'll appoint a public defender to help you with your case. If you would like to resolve this case, it's an adjudication 4-day offer, no return to the Orlando International Airport unless you have a valid ticket on the day of transportation, or the day of appearance, rather. Does he want to take the 4-day offer?
Yeah. No.
Do you need more time to talk to your attorney, Mr. Simpson?
No.
Mr. Simpson, how do you plead to the charge of trespass on property after warning? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to plead no contest?
No.
And do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, by entering a plea to this charge, you will be subject to deportation?
Yes.
If you were on probation at the time you committed this offense, your terms of probation would be violated. Do you understand that too?
Yes.
Mr. Simpson, you did enter a plea of no contest. I want to make sure you read this paper and understood it.
Yes.
And is this your signature down here?
Yeah.
At this time, I'll accept your plea of no contest. You're adjudicated guilty, sentenced to 4 days in the county jail with credit for 1 day time served. Pay your court costs and your public defender's fees by June 1st of 2020. And again, no return to the Orlando International Airport unless you have a valid ticket for transportation on that day. Good luck to you, sir. You have 30 days to appeal.
Next one, Ronnie Thomas's behavior, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. In case number 19MM4014AO, I'll reset that case for tomorrow for arraignment. I'm sorry, strike that first appearance. I do find probable cause. I'll stay that bond. Reset. Sir, what's your name?
Jasper Jackson.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson. You're here for a warrant out of Hillsborough County. You do have a bond of $2,000 for the offense of failure to redeliver a hired vehicle. You can post that bond here in Orange County, but you do need to appear for all future court dates in Hillsborough County, Florida, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $2,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, give me just a moment on this. They don't have the the pad up here, do they, with the different offenses still? The different offenses, the bond schedule? Oh, here, I got it. All right, State, have you been able to establish probable cause or anything to supplement the record?
Your Honor, this is for Castle.
Yes.
Your Honor, I got in contact with the officer, and he did state that the count one, just a brief moment, Your Honor.
All right, and for the record, we're on, your name is Amanda Kessel? All right, thank you, ma'am. And again, you do have a public defender helping you with your case. What did the officer state?
Your Honor, as to count one, it's, the defendant was arrested for possession of methaqualone, not, with intent to sell.
But that's also different from possession of methamphetamines. You put the wrong number. He should have done a corrected affidavit.
Your Honor, in the affidavit, it actually says the defendant was arrested for possession of
But probable cause was not found for the listed offense on count one.
understood, Your Honor.
Okay. So on count one, I find no probable cause. I'll release her ROR on that case, on that count. On count two, I'll modify that bond to a primary bond, setting bond at $1,000. Count 3 and 4 will remain, so your total bond is $1,200.
Thank you.
Yeah, it just needs to match up. What's your name, ma'am?
Elizabeth Helms.
Give me one moment, Ms. Helms. What happened to Desmond Derrick? All right, in case number 19MM3980AO, this is a second-day rollover for mental health. At this time, I'm appointing a public defender temporarily on this case. But having found probable cause, I'm staying the bond. No contact with the victim. Possess no weapons. If defendant owns any weapons, they do need to be surrendered within 6 hours of his release. And set bond, and no return to the 7-Eleven as well. Yes. Ms. Helms, I'm sorry for the wait. You're here for charges of possession of heroin and possession of cocaine in case number 19CF6788. I'm appointing a public defender to help you with both of these charges. On Count one, I'll modify and reduce that bond to $100, so your total bond is $1,100. Or if you qualify for pretrial release, I'll do pretrial release with drug testing to begin anytime after June 11th. So I'll give you some options on that case. All right, give me one moment. Did Janice Negron refuse again? All right, and at this time, I'll waive her appearance. I did find probable cause. I'll stay all those bonds, reset for determination of counsel on Wednesday. Sir, what's your name?
Joshua Dillo.
Mr. Dillo, you're here for a violation of probation in case number 18 CF 14993. You were placed on probation, and it's alleged that while on probation, you committed a new act of aggravated assault with a firearm as well as resisting officer without violence. And that's in case number 19 CF 6839. On the VOP, it's been done as an on view. You'll remain as at no bond status. And then in your new charges, the public defender is appointed. I do find probable cause for that offense. On count one, I'm setting your bond at $5,000. On count two, I'll set your bond at $1,000 for a $6,000 bond. You're not to possess any weapons. If you own any weapons or ammunition, they do need to be surrendered within 6 hours of your release. You're also to have no contact with any victims. Or witnesses in this matter. No return to their home or where they live or work or known to frequent. Anything else on his case?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, did Your Honor order no, for the defendant to possess no weapons?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Can you put on the paperwork? Can you bring him back? I just missed something. Can you grab him really quick? Mr. Dillo, I do want to remind you, while I did order possess no weapons, I also need to remind you that if you do have weapons, they need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 6 hours of your release from jail, and that includes any ammunition, okay? Thank you. Ma'am, what's your name?
Kayla Rivera.
Ms. Rivera, I'm going to appoint a public defender in all the cases that I'm addressing today. Give me just a moment to look at something. All right, ma'am, you're here for a violation of probation. You were placed on probation for an offense of trespass. That was a reduction from the original charges. And then you're also here in case number 19 CF 6853AO, driving with license suspended with 2 priors, as well as resisting officer without violence. Let me take a look at your driver's license history. Is it a conviction? I do find probable cause for both of those offenses. On the driving with license suspended, I'll reduce your bond to $1,000. On the resisting officer without violence, I'll stay that bond at $100, but you are being held at no bond on your violation of probation, ma'am. Good luck to you. Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Lawrence Hill.
Mr. Hill, you're here for a charge of camping. If you would like to resolve your case today, the offer is an adjudication 2 days in the county jail. That means you would be released today, and I'd give you a year to pay your court costs. In any criminal case, you do have the right to a lawyer. Do you want to see if you qualify for a public defender?
Yes.
Okay, you need to fill out an application for a public defender. There's a $50 application fee. And the offer is going to be the same whether you want a public defender or not. Step in back and fill out actually, we only have 2 officers.
Then I don't need her, if it's gonna be the same
Okay.
outcome.
If you change your mind during a conversation and you want a public defender, let me know. Did you read that plea form that's in front of you, sir, that paper?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How do you plead to the charge of camping? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And has anybody forced you to plead no contest?
No, ma'am.
And no contest means you're not admitting or denying the charge, you just believe it's in your best interest. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I saw you sign the paper in open court. Mr. Hill, do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this offense yesterday, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes,
Do you-
ma'am.
Do you also understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by pleading to this charge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're giving up your right to a lawyer, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
For the record, I'll find that you waived your right to counsel. You entered a plea of no contest in 19 MO 906. The camping charge, I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the county jail with credit for 1 day time served. You'll be released this afternoon. Pay your court costs by June 1st of 2020. That's over a year, Mr. Hill, and you have 30 days to appeal. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Sir, what's your name?
Alexander Hunter.
Mr. Hunter, if you would like a public defender, I can see if you qualify. The offer is going to be the same, whether you have a public defender or not. Your offer is a withhold, time served. It is a criminal history. You'd be released today, and I give you a year to pay your court cost. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case? Do you want to close your case today and plead to this charge?
Yeah.
Sir, how do you plead to the charge of disorderly conduct? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty, sir?
No contest, I guess, or
All right, I'll accept your plea of no contest, and that means you're not admitting or denying the charge. You just feel it's in your best interest to finish your case. Is that what you would like to do, sir?
correct, yeah.
All right, go ahead and sign the plea form if you've read the paper. And did you read the paper, sir?
Yeah, I did before.
Is there going to be any problem if I order no return to sidebar, the location of this? I'm going to order no return to the bar that you were at.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, can you follow that?
That's fine.
Sir, do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this offense, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated? Do you also understand that if you're not a United States citizen, Mr. Hunter, you will be subject to deportation by pleading to this charge?
Yeah.
Do you need any more time to talk to a lawyer about this case?
No.
At this time, I'll accept your plea of no contest in 19 MO 907 AO, no return to sidebar. I'll withhold adjudication, impose a time served sentence. You'll be released today. You'll owe about $301 in court cost. I'll give you until June 1st of 2020. That's over a year to pay it, Mr. Hunter. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, just because I'm on holiday at the moment, can I stay in Florida until?
You can stay in Florida. You just can't go back to that bar.
Okay. No, I was just wondering, yeah, just because you said.
All right. You would be subject to deportation if you're not a United States citizen, but you do need to pay those costs
Yeah.
beforehand, or you might have problems coming back into the U.S. in the future.
Got it.
Okay?
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Hunter.
Next one, Your Honor, Moore, the plea is refusal.
All right. In Mr. Moore's case, I'll find probable cause for for a state misdemeanor violation to wit trespass reset for tomorrow. Sir, what's your name?
Kenneth Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez, you're here for a county ordinance violation of soliciting without permit. You do qualify for the public defender, so they can help you with your case. The offer on this case is an adjudication, 2 days. He'd be released this afternoon, counsel. Otherwise, based on his history and the failures to appear, I would just do a bond reduction. You let me know what he wants to do.
You'd like to resolve it today, Judge?
All right. Do you need time to read the plea form, sir? these first or DVs? Okay. Sorry. Mr. Rodriguez, did you read this paper?
Yes.
And is this your signature on it? Mr. Rodriguez, how do you plead to the charge of solicitation without permit, guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Do you need more time to talk to your lawyer about your case?
No.
Sir, do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, by entering a plea to this charge, you will be subject to deportation?
Yes.
Do you also understand that if you have if you were on probation when you committed this offense, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes.
At this time, the court will accept your plea of no contest, and I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the county jail with credit for 1 day time served. Mr. Rodriguez, you'll be released this afternoon. Pay your court costs no later than June 1st of 2020. By that time, you also need to pay your $50 public defender fee, and you have 30 days to appeal, sir. Do you have any questions? All right, good luck to you, sir. Seeley. Mr. Seeley, good morning. You're here for a charge of disorderly conduct. The facts are very similar to panhandling. I find probable cause in case number 19-MO909. The offer in this case is an adjudication time served. That means you'd be released today and you'd have a year to pay your court costs. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
No, ma'am.
Sir, how do you plead to the charge of disorderly conduct? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Did anybody force you to plead no contest?
No, ma'am.
Sir, she's just handed you a paper. I'll give you a moment to sign it. Sir, I want to make sure, did you read the paper before you signed it?
Yes.
And do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this offense, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes.
Do you also understand that if you're not a United States citizen, Mr. Seeley, you will be subject to deportation by pleading to these charges?
Yes.
All right, at this time, I'll find that you waived your right to counsel in case number 2019 MO909. You're hereby adjudicated guilty, sentenced to time served. You'll be released today. Pay your court costs by June 1st of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal. Sir, do you have any questions?
Nope.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this is the last one, besides the DV cases, and then do I see all of us? Who ready to do the 4 victims first, since they're up here, or no?
Ask you? No, the victims are going to go for, yeah. We're going to do the DV cases, the 4 victims who are here. Do we know what cases they're here on?
Yes.
Okay, sir, what's your, I'm sorry, what's your name, please?
Shanae Washington.
Shemay Washington.
Mrs. Kyrie, is mental health, Your Honor.
All right, I'll address that in just a second. Shanae Washington, case number 19-MO912. You're here for being in a park after hours. I'll appoint a public defender. It's a time-served offer, or I could release the defendant ROR.
I just want to be released. No problem. No problem.
I believe she just wants ROR, Judge.
All right, I'll find probable cause for this charge. Ms. Washington, you do need to appear for all future court dates. I'll release you on your own recognizance. Do you use the post office general delivery to check your mail, or where do you get your mail at?
I get it at the post office.
Okay, so you do general delivery?
Yeah, I do general delivery.
All right, can you, counsel, can you fill out paperwork so she can get general delivery so she doesn't fail to appear for any future court dates?
Yes, Judge.
Can we give her a change of address form, please? Do we have that? Do we not have change of address forms anymore?
I never seen one, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and just do general delivery at the post office at 32801 for her mailing address. Okay, then on record on case number, thank you. Hold on just a moment, sir.
This is Jeffrey DeJour, that's the first to me.
Okay, give me just a moment to do Makia Tyree. All right, I find probable cause in 19 MO 910AO. I'll reset till tomorrow. What's the first litigant's name again?
Jeffrey DeJour. He's the second felony.
I'll figure.
What was the name again? The second one, DeJour?
Denise, I can pull it up, so you don't even need to find me.
You sure? Because you need to keep it. Who's after Number 4?
Okay. Are you Jeffrey DeJour?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're here for felony case number 19CF6829. You qualify for a public defender. They'll help you with your case. I find probable cause for a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Ma'am, please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Thank you. What's your name, ma'am?
Marconessa Guerrier.
Miss Guerrier, how do you know Mr. DeJour?
He's my husband.
Were you living together at the time of this incident?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you afraid of your husband?
No, Your Honor.
Do you want him to return home?
Yes, ma'am.
Were there any drugs or alcohol involved in this?
No, Your Honor.
And there were 2 attorneys in the courtroom. They can ask you some questions. I'll begin with the state.
If a situation like this ever happens again, will you call 911?
Yes.
Any other questions?
Nothing further.
Defense counsel, any questions?
No, Judge.
All right, Mr. DeJour, I'm going to set a bond in this case. I'm setting your bond at $3,500. Mr. DeJour, you're to have no hostile contact with your wife. That means you can't do anything to harm, threaten, scare, or intimidate her. Additionally, you're not allowed to have any weapons or ammunition. If you do, it needs to be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release from jail. Sir, do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Guerrero, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the question, ma'am?
Will he be released today?
If he does have a bond, the bond is $3,500.
Okay.
All right, any other questions, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. McDonald,
Yes.
what's your first name, sir?
Thomas.
All right, Mr. McDonald, you're here in case number 19MM4019, as well as 19CF687080. You qualify for a public defender. They'll help you with both of these cases. In the misdemeanor case, you were arrested for battery domestic violence. And in the felony case, you're here for child abuse. I find probable cause for both of these charges. Ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you Christina McDonald?
Yes.
And how are you related to Thomas McDonald?
It's my husband.
Are you in fear of him?
No.
Okay. Do you want to have contact with him?
Yes.
Now, the kids, do they live with you?
Yes.
And do they also, and does Thomas also live in the home?
Yes.
Is there somewhere else where Thomas can live while this case gets investigated?
I mean, I suppose so, but I don't think he needs to be. I feel like this was blown way out of proportion. This is not.
Alcohol was a factor in this, right, ma'am?
Yeah, we were away for Mother's Day weekend, so we had been having drinks by the pool, but it was we just got into an argument that just got a little out of hand, and he is not a child abuser.
Okay. How old is Mia?
She's 8.
Give me just a moment. But You live here in Orange County, right?
Yes.
Okay, I have a prosecutor from the state and his attorney. They're both available, and they're going to ask you some questions. State, your witness.
If a situation like this ever happens again, will you call 911?
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Give me a moment. The second child, you have 2 children together?
Yes.
Are there any other children or other people who live in the house with you?
No, just our family.
Okay, so you have Mia, who's 8. What's the name of your other child?
Thomas the third,
And how old is he?
7.
Okay. All right, defense counsel, do you have any questions for Ms. McDonald?
No, Judge.
State, what's your position on no unsupervised contact with the children?
Your Honor, at this time, the state would be asking for no contact with either victim, the 2 children that live in the home, and the victim of the domestic battery.
All right, ma'am, he can have contact with you, but until the Department of Children and Families investigates this a little bit further and we get more information, he's to have no contact with the kids. So it sounds like you will need to reside somewhere else because the kids will stay with your wife. You can communicate with your wife by telephone outside of the house, but the kids cannot be present. I'm also ordering, sir, that you not possess any weapons. If there are any weapons in the home, they do need to be, no return to the residence. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll allow you to contact the police department within a couple hours of your release. They'll arrange to meet you, escort you to the home so you can collect some of your belongings. After that, you can't return. If you do own any weapons, you're not allowed to anymore. They need to be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release. I'm also ordering that you not possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. On the child abuse case, I'll set bond at $1,000. On the battery domestic violence, I'm setting your bond at $100 for a total of $1,100. Mr. McDonald, do you have any questions for me or your lawyer?
No.
Okay, Ms. McDonald, do you have any questions for me?
No.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am. And both of you need to comply with Department of Children and Families and their investigation and hearing process. Good luck to you. Sir, what's your name?
Gerard Curry, ma'am.
Mr. Curry, you're here for a charge of battery domestic violence in case number 19MM4004. I'm going to appoint a public defender, and I do find that there's probable cause for this offense. Are you Brittany Newsom?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Newsom, have we had court together before?
Yes, for my traffic ticket. I remember your face.
For what?
Traffic ticket.
Okay. All right, Ms. Curry, how do you, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Curry, how do you know, Ms. Newsom, how do you know Mr. Curry?
He's my husband.
Are you afraid of your husband?
No, not at all.
Do you feel safe living together?
Yes.
Do you want him to return home?
Yes.
Okay. Are you afraid to call the police if something happens in the future?
No.
Okay. State, any questions? Defense, any questions?
No, Judge.
Sir, I'm going to put you on the pretrial release program. You're to have no hostile contact with Ms. Newsom. That means you can't do anything to harm, threaten, scare, or intimidate her. Additionally, you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release. Sir, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Newsom, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Portia Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
Give me just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, raise your right hand to the best you can. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Sir, your name, please.
David Yeomans.
Mr. Humans, how do you know Ms. Smith?
She's my wife.
Were you living together at the time of this incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you afraid of your wife?
No, ma'am.
Do you want her to return home?
Yes, ma'am.
And you live in North Carolina, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Was alcohol or drugs a factor in any of this?
Just a few drinks, and it's just a little argument, and it was just kind of a misunderstanding.
Okay. And would you be afraid to call the police if something happened in the future?
No, ma'am.
All right, at this time, I'm going to set her bond at $500. I'm ordering no hostile contact with anybody in your family. That means you can't do anything to harm, threaten, scare, or intimidate them. I'm also ordering that you not possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or alcohol. You can't have any weapons. If you have any weapons here in Orange County, they need to be surrendered within 2 hours of your release to law enforcement. If you have any in your North Carolina home, show them a copy of the order, surrender your weapons within 6 hours of returning home to North Carolina. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
All right, do you have any questions, sir?
Yeah, can I pay that here?
You can pay that downstairs.
Okay,
All right, good luck to you, sir.
thank you.
Thank you.
Jonathan Bloomquist?
Your Honor, we have one more victim.
Okay, what's the case name that he or she is here on?
Bridgewater.
Who? I'm sorry,
Bridgewater.
Bridgewater. Good morning. I don't have that paperwork. Thank you. Ma'am, your name, please?
Brian Bridgewater.
Ms. Bridgewater, you're here in case number 19M314AA for a charge of battery. It is domestic in nature. I'm going to appoint a public defender, and I do find probable cause. Sir, what's your name?
Larry Harrison.
Mr. Harrison, do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you her husband?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you living together at the time of this offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want her to return home?
Yes, ma'am, because we stay in Georgia and we leave tomorrow. I
Okay.
don't know
Are
what
you
to
afraid
do.
of her?
No, ma'am.
If you become afraid of her in the future, would you call the police?
No, ma'am.
So if she committed a crime against you, would you call the police?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions, state or defense?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, based on your criminal history and the facts of this case, I'm setting your bond at $500, Ms. Bridgewater. No hostile contact with Mr. Harrison. You can't do anything to harm, threaten, scare, or intimidate him. And you can't have any weapons. If you do have any weapons, they just need to be surrendered within 6 hours of your release from jail. Okay, ma'am? Do you have any questions? And Mr. Harrison, do you have any questions?
No, I'm get her out. I'm gonna get her out today. I'm gonna try to get her out.
Okay, she can hear everything you're saying.
I'll do anything to get her out. 'Cause
All right.
I'm leaving tomorrow, and I can't have her in here like that. And I ain't got nowhere else to go.
All right,
She's my legal guardian.
okay. And
Yes, ma'am.
I'll modify that bond to $250.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take Osceola. This will give you time to talk to him and go over any of the other cases. How many more oranges do we have? All right, are we ready at Osceola?
Yes, we are, Judge.
All right, thank you. When I call your name, please step up to the podium. Can I get appearance for the Public Defender's Office in Osceola and from Corrections?
Yes, Javier Chavez on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
John Marino on behalf of PTR.
Okay, thank you. The first case is, the first litigant is Sean Andrew Chalan. Chunalal, Chunilall. Do I need an does he need an interpreter?
You need an interpreter? He speaks English, Judge.
All right. Sir, you're here for a violation of community control. I'll appoint a public defender. You'll remain at no bond status. Good luck to you, sir. David Michael Covert is next.
Mr. Colbert?
Colbert. David Michael Covert. Is he not there?
Oh, he's getting up, Judge.
There's nothing for me to sign. I've already done that. All right, sir, I'm going to appoint a public defender to help you with your case. You're here for a charge of grand theft, and I do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $500, sir. Good luck to you.
Okay.
The next person is Rudy Edwards. After Mr. Edwards, I will be calling Robert Farthing. Rudy Edwards, after that is Farthing. Good morning, are you Mr. Edwards? Sir, I can't hear you. Your name? Help the mic.
Rudy.
All right, Mr. Edwards, you're here for 3 different cases. In case number 18 CF 1575AO, if you don't have a public defender, they'll help you with your case. You missed your court date, so you're being held at no bond status. In case number 16 CF 1614, you missed your court date. You're being held at no bond status as well. And in case number 16 CF 1599, you missed your court date and you remain at no bond status. Your public defender will assist you with the case. Good luck to you, sir. You can have a seat. Thank you. Robert Farthing. After Mr. Farthing is Rita Files. All right, are you Robert Farthing? Mr. Farthing, you're here for a charge of battery. I do find that there's probable cause. You are entitled to a monetary bond. Do you and Jared live together? I'm sorry, can you pull the mic closer so I can hear you?
Sorry, after the incident, it was requested that Jared be returned to their rescinding state. He was placed to an ICPC.
Okay. All right, well, if Jared has not left the home, you need to maintain a separate residence. You cannot have any contact with Jared nor go to where he lives. If he's living there, you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release from jail. I'm setting bond in this matter at $1,000. Good luck to you. The public defender's office will assist you. Rita Files, and after that, I'm going to call Johnny Fisher. And on Mr. Farthing's case, you're not to have any weapons. Weapons to be surrendered within 6 hours of your release. Are you Rita Files? Ms. Files, I'm going to appoint a public defender to help you with the case of battery. I do find that there's probable cause. You need to maintain a separate residence from the victim. You're to have no contact with the victim, and you're not permitted to possess any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release. You also are to have no contact with the witness, Jasmine. In this matter, I'm setting your bond at $1,000. Good luck to you, ma'am. Public defender is appointed. Oh, strike the public defender. She's going to hire her own attorney. So I'm calling Johnny Fisher next. After that, I'm calling Jesse Jennings. Good morning. Are you Mr. Fisher?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Fisher, you're here for a charge of driving under the influence. I'm appointing a public defender in that matter. I find probable cause. You're not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or have any alcohol while out on bond. In that matter, your bond is $500. Then you're also here for a charge of trafficking in cocaine greater than 28 grams, as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. I find probable cause in that matter as well. I'm going to stay those bonds. So your total bond in that case is $50,500. Thank you. Jesse Jennings is next. Please come to the podium, followed by Kevin Jimenez Rowland. Are you Jesse Jennings?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Jennings, you're here for a warrant. For a violation of probation. You're being held at no bond status. And the Public Defender's Office will assist you with this case. This is a warrant out of Osceola County.
I have a question. I have a,
Or, I'm sorry, strike that. Is that Alachua County?
Yes.
Strike that, strike that. It's actually an Alachua County warrant, and you do have a bond. The bond is $525. You can bond out. If you can't afford that bond, you'll be transported by the government to Alachua County.
Is that 5,000 or 500? So
You're not entitled to a public defender here in Osceola.
I just want to, like, I'm sorry, ma'am, please. So, like, if it's 10%,
Okay, thank you.
I need 100, or I need
The next person is Kevin Jimenez Rowland. After that is David Noel Mark Rands. Good morning, Mr. Jimenez Rowland.
Good morning.
Sir, you're going to have a public defender in all three of the cases that I'm addressing today. You're here for a violation of probation or community control for the charges of grand theft. An on-view has been done in all of your violations of probation, so in those two cases, you'll remain at no bond status. I do find probable cause for the charge of no motor vehicle registration and operating a motorcycle without license. In that case, I'll reduce your bond to $100 apiece. Total bond on your new offenses is $200. Good luck to you, sir. The next case is David Macrans, followed by Mr. Macrans. It's going to be Earl Miller. Mr. Macrans, good morning. You're here for a warrant out of Polk County, Florida. You missed your court date. You do have a bond of $500. If you don't post it, you'll be transported to Polk County. If you do post it, you need to make sure you appear for all future court dates. Good luck to you, sir. Errol Miller is next. After Mr. Miller, it's going to be Antonio Neves. Mr. Miller,
Good morning, ma'am.
you're here for a charge of battery by strangulation, false imprisonment, as well as tampering with the witness. I'm appointing a public defender to help you with your criminal charges, and I do find probable cause. Corrections before I set a bond. Does he have any history of any violent crimes?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I know
All right.
everything that she said.
Yeah, don't say anything about the case. All right.
Corrections, I'm sorry, nothing?
Yeah. No, Your Honor, he doesn't.
Okay, any other criminal history or failures to appear corrections?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. On count one, I'm setting bond at $3,500. Count two, $150, and count three, $150. Your total bond is $3,800. Sir, you're to have no contact with the victim. You must maintain a separate residence. I'm going to allow for a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer at that time. You also are not permitted to have any weapons. If you own any weapons, they need to be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release from jail. You cannot live where she's living. Thank you.
Thank you.
Antonio Neves is next. Following Mr. Neves is going to be Alex Perez Lopez. Mr. Neves, you qualify for the Public Defender Services. I'm going to appoint them to help you with all of your cases. You're here for introduction of contraband into a detention facility, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I find probable cause for all of those. On the count 2, I'll modify that bond to $150. Count 3, I'll modify that bond to $100. Then you're also here at a second case for possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. I find probable cause. I'll modify both of those bonds to $100 apiece. And then you're here for driving with license suspended and no motor vehicle registration. I'm going to also treat those as subsidiaries, finding probable cause. Those bonds are $100 apiece as well. Thank you, Mr. Neves.
How much is the bond total?
1,000, 150, 100, 125, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your total bond is $1,650, sir.
Appreciate it.
Alex Perez Lopez. Followed by Mr. Lopez, it's going to be Thomas Rene Ramos. Corrections, I'm going to need to hear from you on this domestic. Good morning, Mr. Alex Joel Perez Lopez. You're here for a charge of battery domestic violence. I'm appointing a public defender to help you with your case, and I do find that there's probable cause in this offense. You are entitled to a bond. Corrections, does Mr. Perez Lopez have any criminal history?
I'm sorry, Judge, he doesn't speak English.
All right,
So do you want
reset to
skip
Spanish
on this?
interpreter.
Or do you have- Okay.
Madam Interpreter, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Sir, you're here for a charge of battery domestic violence, and I do find probable cause in this case.
Señor, usted
Corrections,
se encuentra acá por una acusación de agresión física por violencia doméstica. Determino que existe indicio de criminalidad en su caso.
corrections, does he have any criminal history?
No, Your Honor, he doesn't.
You are entitled to a monetary bond, sir. I'm going to set it at $1,000. You're to have no contact with Carol or Angelica while this case is going on. You
Al
also
Departamento de
are not,
Correccionales.
you can go ahead and translate.
¿Al Departamento de Correccionales él tiene antecedentes penales? No. Señor, usted tiene derecho a que se le fije fianza. En su caso, fijaré la fianza en cantidad de $1,000. Se le prohíbe a usted todo tipo de contacto, ya sea con Carol o con Angélica, mientras el caso esté pendiente.
You're not to possess, use, or consume any alcohol, any illegal drugs. You're not to have any weapons. If you have any weapons, they need to be surrendered within 6 hours of your release.
A usted se le prohíbe consumir todo tipo de bebida alcohólica y de drogas ilegales. También se le prohíbe la tenencia de armas de fuego. Si tiene armas, tendrá que entregarlas en un plazo de 6 horas, luego de que sea puesto en libertad de la cárcel.
No return to the residence. And I'll allow a one-time return with a police officer so you can collect some belongings. After that, you can't return.
Se le prohíbe regresar a la residencia, se le permitirá regresar una única vez, acompañado de las autoridades a recuperar sus pertenencias. Luego de esa única vez no podrá regresar.
Bond set at $1,000.
Y la fianza se ha fijado en cantidad de $1,000.
Thank you. Next is Thomas Ramos. Good morning, Mr. Ramos. You're here for a charge of battery. I'm going to appoint a public defender to help you with your case. Counsel, can I talk to him?
Okay. Yes, Judge.
All right. Mr. Ramos, good morning. You're here for a charge of battery. I do find probable cause. You are entitled to a monetary bond, and I'm appointing a public defender to help you with your case. Corrections, do you have any history?
Yes, Your Honor. He doesn't have any Florida priors. However, he does have priors dating back to 1997 in California for carrying a loaded firearm, eluding a peace officer, multiple DUIs in 2007, a battery DV in 2008, vandalism in 2010, hit and run Also another DUI and two.
Thank you. All right, sir, based on your lack of ties to the community, your criminal history, and the facts of this case, I'm setting your bond at $3,000. I'm ordering that you have no contact with Lisa. You must maintain a separate residence from her. You can't go back to where she lives. And you're also ordered not to possess any weapons. If you own any weapons, they need to be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release from jail. And you're not to possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. No contact. Thank you. The next person is Maria Rivera, followed by Maria Rivera is Sunny Rivera. Good morning, Ms. Rivera. You're here for a charge of petty theft. I'm going to appoint a public defender to help you with your case. I find probable cause for this offense. I'm going to stay your bond at $1,000. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
The next person is Sunny Rivera. Mr. Rivera, you're here for a charge of trespass. I find probable cause for this offense. I'm going to appoint a public defender. I'll stay the bond at $500. Thank you, sir. The next person is Christian Rivera Rodriguez. After Mr. Rivera Rodriguez is Daniel Shepard. Are you Christian Rivera Rodriguez?
He's not, he hasn't been brought, Judge, so we're going to ask that he be reset for Monday.
All right, I find probable cause for the charges of battery and assault. He does have a bond. I'll reset him till tomorrow. Okay, the next person is Daniel Shepard. After Mr. Shepard is Ileana Valentin Felix. Mr. Shepard, you're here for two different cases.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to appoint a public defender in both of them. You're here for either a violation of probation/community control. The underlying offense is battery domestic violence. You're going to be held at no bond on that violation. Because I do find probable cause for a new offense of resisting officer without violence, you are entitled to a bond in that matter. I'll set that bond at $1,000. You're not to possess any weapons, nor are you to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or alcohol. Thank you, Mr. Shepard. The PD's office will help you with your case.
Thank you. Have a good day, Your Honor.
I set it at 500. I mean, 1,000 rather. Osceola, my clerk has tried to reach you on Mr. Shepard's case. What was the original bond on his resisting? It was a cross out? Was it a 500 or 1,000?
We're looking it up, Judge.
All right.
We can't find the amount, Judge.
Look at the booking inmate number.
Judge, it looks like it was $500.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Ileana Valentin Felix. Ms. Valentin Felix, do you want a public defender to help you with your case, or are you going to hire your own attorney?
She needs an interpreter, Judge.
Madam Interpreter, can we go online?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Valentin, I'm going to appoint a public defender to help you with your case.
Señora Valentín, le designaré un defensor público para que le asista en su caso.
You're here for a charge of driving with license suspended.
Usted se encuentra acá por la acusación de conducir con la licencia suspendida.
I find probable cause.
Determino que existe indicio de criminalidad.
I'll set your bond at $100.
Y le fijo la fianza en cantidad de $100.
Actually, I might correct that. Corrections, does she have any priors besides the DWLS?
No, Your Honor, she doesn't.
All right, I'll release her ROR.
De hecho, permítame corregir eso. Al Departamento de Correccionales, ¿ella tiene antecedentes además de este? No. Bien, pues entonces la pondré en libertad bajo palabra.
PC found, yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Gracias, señora.
Key Short Johnson is next, followed by Mr. Johnson and Xavier McCovery.
Morning.
Sir, you're here for a violation of pretrial release conditions. I'll appoint a public defender in this matter. Corrections, is he already out on bond or release conditions?
One second, Your Honor. I believe you. Yes, Your Honor, he is.
Okay, what's that case number?
She didn't write it. It's 18 mm 3417.
In that case, I do find probable cause for a violation of his pretrial release conditions, and he'll be held at no bond status. In this new case, for violation of pretrial release conditions, he is entitled to a bond. The bond will be $1,000. You're to have no contact with your mother, Arlene Johnson, and you're not to possess any weapons. All weapons to be surrendered within 3 hours of your release from jail, and no return to where she lives or works. Thank you. Next up is Xavier McCovery. After that is William Flores Figueroa. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 14, 16, 18. All right, sir, your name, are you Xavier McCovery? Sir, you're here for a warrant. It's a warrant for 1 count of burglary of a dwelling, where you're being held at no bond status, 3 counts of criminal mischief. Each count has a bond of $250. You're here for 18 counts of burglary of a conveyance. Each count is at $1,000 bond. You're here for 4 counts of petty theft. Those bond amounts are $250 per count. And finally, you're here for 4 counts of grand theft. Each bond is $1,000 per count. So your total bond in this matter is no bond plus $23,750. Sir, you'll be transported. That case will be addressed in the trial division in Osceola County. Good luck to you, sir. Is it Polk or? I'm sorry, it's a Polk County case? Thank you. Thank you, correct, Denise. William Figueroa.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. I'm going to appoint a public defender to help you with your case. You're here for possession of cocaine, possession of marijuana under 20 grams, possession of drug paraphernalia, and tampering with evidence. I'm going to modify your bonds. I find probable cause. On the marijuana charge, your bond is $100. The paraphernalia bond, your bond is $100. On the cocaine, your bond is $150. I'll stay the bond on the tampering. So I did do some bond reductions. Good luck to you, sir. Chris Yamil Santana Rosario, and after that, it's going to be Stephen Malero Rosario. Are you Chris Yamil Santana?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you're here for strong arm robbery. I'm ordering that you have no contact with the victim. I'm also ordering no return to the scene of the crime and possess no weapons. Your bond will be stayed at $5,000, and I'm going to appoint a public defender to help you with your case. Thank you, sir. The next person I'm addressing is Stephen Rosario. After that, it's Tanya Claudette Ruby. Mr. Rosario?
Speak English, Judge.
Pardon me?
He needs a Spanish interpreter. He
Madam
needs a Spanish interpreter, Judge.
Thank you. Spanish interpreter, let's go online.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you're here for a charge of strong arm robbery. I'm going to appoint a public defender to help you with your case. You're to have no contact with any of the victims or witnesses. You're also to have no contact with Ashley Marie Maldonado Lopez. Your bond is going to be stayed at $5,000. No return, and you're not to possess any weapons. If you own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release from jail.
Señor, usted se encuentra acá por una acusación de robo con fuerza. Se designa al defensor público para que le represente. Usted se le prohíbe todo contacto con las víctimas y con los testigos del caso. También se le prohíbe el contacto con Ashley Marie Maldonado López. Su fianza permanecerá en cantidad de $5,000. Se le prohíbe regresar al lugar de los hechos y se le prohíbe la tenencia de armas. Si tiene armas, deberá entregarlas a las autoridades en un plazo de 6 horas, luego de que sea puesto en libertad de la cárcel.
Thank you, sir.
¿Puedo hacer una pregunta? ¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
May I ask a question?
Sir, your statements are being recorded and can be used against you. You can arrange for any questions with your attorney.
Señor, todo lo que usted diga quedará grabado y se podrá usar en su contra. Haga las preguntas a través de su abogado.
Defense counsel, do you want him to say something? Okay.
I'm going to talk to him after we're done, Judge.
All right, the next person is Tanya Claudette Ruby.
She wasn't brought, Judge. You want to just add this as an add-on for Monday?
I'll go ahead and do that. I'll find probable cause for the charge of robbery, sudden snatching. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Judge.
We need clarification from Osceola on defendant.
Pre-trial release conditions, was it just pre-trial release and bond? I just need to clarify because I have to circle.
Okay, that was, I need to clarify the record on Keysort Emmanuel Johnson. Give me a moment to find his. Was he out on bond in that MM case, 18 MM 3410, or was he on pretrial release corrections? Corrections? Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
On Keysort Johnson, he had open case 18 MM 3410, the domestic with his mom. Was he put on bond status or pretrial release?
It was a bond with PTR.
So I'm revoking and forfeiting his bond and his pretrial release. Thank you, sir. We'll go offline.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have a good weekend, everybody. All right, let's go ahead and do the Orange counties.
Your Honor, may the interpreter be excused? You're very welcome. You as well.
Okay, back to the Orange County Court cases. Oh, you're gonna. Okay, got it. Your name, please?
Michelle Zuki.
You're here in case number 19 CF 687280 for the charge of aggravated battery. It is domestic in nature, and I do find that there's probable cause. I'll start by appointing a public defender. I'm ordering no contact with the victim, maintain a separate residence. You can do a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. Possess no weapons. All weapons need to be surrendered within 6 hours of your release. Based on your criminal history and the facts of this case, I'm setting your bond at $4,000. Good luck to you, ma'am. Patrick Gould is next.
We did Patrick Gould. No, we didn't. No, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Come on, Gould. Do you want me to put Bloom Court Splash on it, or?
Whenever you want to work them in.
Okay.
Robin, I mixed up my face sheet, so can you? Yes. Patrick Gould, you're here in case number 19 CF 6864 for the charge of battery by strangulation. Sir, I'm not sure if you qualify for a public defender in this matter. Do you support anybody?
No.
Okay, is your take-home pay $3,500 per month, or is it less afterwards?
Correct.
It's $3,500. Okay. You make too much money to qualify for a public defender. You will get a bond in this case, but you'll need to hire your own attorney if you choose. You're to have no contact with the victim in this case, James Harper. You're also to maintain a separate residence. You can't go to where he lives, works, or is known to frequent. I'm also ordering that you not have any weapons. If you own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered within 6 hours of your release from jail. And you're not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or have any alcohol. And you need to abide by all terms of the injunction. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
Okay, good luck to you.
What was the bond amount on that, Judge?
Pardon me?
What was the bond amount?
I'm sorry. The bond amount on that case, based on, it's $2,500. Thank you. Your name, ma'am?
Yolanda Boone.
Miss Boone, you're here for a charge of aggravated assault, dating violence. I'm going to appoint a public defender to help you in case number 19 CF 6862. I do find probable cause for this offense. Considering your criminal history and the facts of this case, here are your bond and release conditions. Your bond in this case is going to be $2,500. You're to have no contact with Takari Knight. You need to maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. Possess no weapons. All weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. Do you have any questions, Ms. Boone? All right, good luck to you. Charles McGee is next. Mr. McGee, you're here for a charge of aggravated battery domestic violence, and I do find that there's probable cause for this offense. I'm also going to appoint a public defender in case 19 CF 6863. You're to have no contact with the victim, Vanessa Rush McGee. You need to maintain a separate residence from where she lives. You can't go, I'll give you a one-time, hold on a moment. Okay, no return to the residence. I'm also ordering that you not possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or alcohol, that you have no weapons, all weapons to be surrendered within 6 hours of your release. I'll do a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. Based on these facts and your criminal history, I'm setting your bond at $4,000. Good luck to you, Mr. McGee.
Is there any way I could get a lower bond? 'Cause I just got this job and I need to try to get out to go to work.
Defense counsel, anything else I need to consider?
Please.
No, Judge.
Sir, based on the number of criminal episodes you have in your history, including violent
But it-
offenses, I'm denying that request.
But-
Bond
but,
is also a
it's-
consideration of whether you'll appear or not, and
It's like, what, 16 years?
denied. Which? Who's he? The Osceola? Yeah.
Well, we're not here to talk about the case.
So then how did he go to her house? Reset it to tomorrow just in case.
Already heard one.
And I'll message.
Okay, I can give you the first one's name that emailed me.
Okay. Sir, what's your name?
David Royals.
Mr. Riles, you already have a public defender in the case in which you're out on bond. That
Right.
case number is 19 CF 6054AO. I find probable cause in case number 19 CF 6871AO. That's your new case. I'm going to appoint a public defender. Do you want a public defender in your new case too?
Could it be noted that my dad has dementia, and I'm dealing with him? I was
Sir-
just here, I was here last week, and
I
yes,
know
I
you
like the
were.
public
Do you want a
defender.
public defender to help you with your new case that you were
Yeah,
arrested for?
Yes, please.
All right, I'm going to appoint a public defender in that case ending in 6871. Hold on a second. What? Yes. So on the out on bond case, I'm revoking your release in 19 CF 6054AO. He already has a PD in that case. On the new case, I find probable cause. I'm ordering no contact with the victim, Juliet Riles. Maintain a separate residence, possess no weapons, weapons to be surrendered within 4 hours of release. And he is entitled to a bond on the new case. I'm setting bond at $4,000 on count 1 and $500 on count 2.
Your Honor, I was dog bit. They didn't, it's very severe dog bit. Can I go back to the hospital and get stitches? It needs stitches
There is a
bad.
medical unit here in the jail. They'll assess you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let them know. No. Sir, what's your name?
Brennan Sermon.
Mr. Sermon, you're here in case number 19 CF 6849 for charges of battery by strangulation, as well as resisting officer without violence. I find probable cause for the offenses. I'm ordering no contact with Tiffany Seymour and Angela Slappy. Maintain a separate residence. You're not to go back to where they're living. I'm also ordering that you not possess any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release. I'll do a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. On the battery by strangulation, I'm setting your bond at $3,000. On the resisting officer without violence, I'll modify that bond to $100. Good luck to you, Mr. Sermon. Your public defender can help you.
I have a question about seeing my daughter. 'cause
All right,
this
I did
incident
no
happened.
contact. You signed the paperwork. You're not to contact her even for purposes of the child, sir. While this case is pending, your attorney can assist you with modification of that. Diana Flippo. Are you Miss Flippo?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. You're here for a charge of battery, domestic violence, and I do find that there's probable cause. You're to have no contact with Matthew Moore. You need to maintain a separate residence. I can do a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. You're not to possess any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 6 hours of your release from jail. And I'll do a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. The facts include alcohol, so I'm going to order no alcohol consumption while this case is going on. Based on your criminal history, I'm going to set your bond in this matter at $2,000. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Was the public defender appointed?
Yes, ma'am, the public defender is appointed. Your name, ma'am?
Connie Hamilton.
Ms. Hamilton, I'm going to appoint a public defender in misdemeanor case number 19MM316AA for the charge of battery. It is domestic in nature. You're to have no contact with Albert Gannon. Your bond is going to be set at $1,000. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll do a one-time return so you can collect your belongings as long as you have a police officer with you. And any weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release. No weapons or ammunition. Sir, what's your name?
First name Maxon, last name Noel.
Mr. Noel, you're here for a charge of battery, domestic violence. Let me ask you some questions. I'm not sure if you qualify for a public defender. Do you support anybody?
Myself and my girlfriend.
Does your girlfriend work?
No,
It says that you earn $600 a week. Is that before taxes or after taxes?
that's about after tax.
Okay. One dependent, does he qualify?
600 after taxes.
Per week?
Per week.
Yes.
He qualifies.
All right, you do qualify for a public defender. I'm imposing the $50 application fee to help you with your case. Sir, I find probable cause for the charge of battery, domestic violence. You're to have no contact with the victim, Guevara Julian, and you must maintain a separate residence. You can't go back to where the victim lives, but I will allow for a one-time return as long as you have a police officer accompanying you, so you need to arrange for that beforehand. And you're not to possess any weapons. Weapons to be surrendered to the sheriff's office or police department within 4 hours of your release. Any questions can be addressed to your attorneys, defense counsel, state anything else.
It appears he qualifies for direct pretrial release,
Without having heard from the victim, I'm going to deny that request at this time.
and the bond is set at what?
500. Sir, what's your name?
Victor William Vitale.
Mr. Vitale, you're here for a charge of battery, domestic violence.
Yes.
I find probable cause. You're to have no contact with Nicholas El Masari. You must maintain a separate residence. You can't go back to where the victim lives. I'll allow for a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. You're to possess no weapons. Weapons to be surrendered within within 4 hours of your release from jail. I'm setting this bond at $500. And the PD is appointed to help you with your case. Thank you, Mr. Vitale. Give me a moment on the next case. All right, your name, please?
Mario Walkers.
Okay, FYI, he is out on bond and has a trial pending in front of Judge Barber, Division 16. He already has a public defender. On the out on bond case, I'm going to revoke his release and hold him at no bond to all counts. For the record, that's case number 14 CF 14279AO. Sir, you're here, and that's based on my finding of probable cause, bless you, in case number 19MM223AE, where I'm appointing a public defender. Sir, you're here for a charge of battery. I do find probable cause. You're to have no contact with Barry Ed Smith or any other victims. You're not to possess any weapons. All weapons to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. You must maintain a separate residence from the victim. And your bond in that matter is going to be set at $1,000. Thank you, Mr. Walker. Thank you. You ready for the plea on the next case? Recall on Mr. Bloomquist. State Defense, can you approach? All right. Readdressing Mr. Bloomquist. Mr. Bloomquist, let me ask you some questions. How do you plead to the charge of resisting officer without violence? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty? How do you plead to the charge of petty theft? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty? And how do you plead to the charge of criminal mischief? Sir, did you read this paper and sign it? Sir, do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed these offenses, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated? Do you understand that? Yes. And if you're not a United States citizen, you'll be subject to deportation by pleading to these charges, Mr. Bloomquist. Do you understand that too? Yes. All right. And are you satisfied with the services of your lawyer? Okay, at this time, I'll go ahead and find that with the benefit of counsel, you've entered pleas of no contest. You're adjudicated guilty, sentenced to 7 days in the county jail with credit for 2 days' time served. Pay your court costs no later than June 1st of 2020. And this is a concurrent sentence as to counts 1, 2, and 3. You have 30 days to appeal. Good luck to you, sir. Anything else? All right, court's adjourned.